The much-awaited results of the Secondary Education Examination, or SEE, previously known as SLC, was announced yesterday. The exam system and curriculum has gone through massive changes as there has been a conspicuous effort from the state to improve the standard of education and better results. However, going by the preliminary analysis, the results this year has fallen short of expectations yet again. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Results of the Secondary Education Examination SEE published. Results deemed unsatisfactory in comparison to last year. State Affairs Committee returns the Civil Service Bill to the Ministry, directing for amendment in basis for reservation. Legal experts term the move unconstitutional. Chinese President Xi Jinping meets Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on the sidelines of the forthcoming G20 summit in Japan at a time of warming ties between the two countries. And India hammer West Indies by 125 runs in yesterday's ICC World Cup encounter, dashing all hopes of the West Indies of advancing to the semis. Despite removing the provision to fail students, the Secondary Education Examination, or SEE, results for this year was released yesterday has fallen short of expectations. Based on the results published by the National Examination Board, Exam Controller's Office, 52% of the 459,000 students that appeared for the SEE are ineligible to pursue high school education. 241,000 students have scored D and E grades, which has raised questions on the budget invested on improving the standard of education. Based on the results, 17,580 regular and technical students scored A+, 2,792 of whom are from community schools, while 14,788 are from private schools. Only 51,011 students from community schools scored A grade. 63,700 students scored B+, out of which 37,000 are from private schools and 26,000 are from community schools. Meanwhile, 97,000 students have scored C+. 90,000 students from community schools have scored C grade, while the grade is limited to 4,862 for private schools. Karnali Province had the most dismal results, while Province 3 produced the best results. The new grading system has 9 grades in total. 241,000 students have scored D and E grades in mathematics, which the Education Ministry admits is discouraging. The government spends over 150 billion rupees in improving the standard of education. However, the results which were out yesterday that prohibits 241,000 students from pursuing high school education has raised questions on the effectiveness of the education system. The State Affairs and Good Governance Committee of the Legislature Parliament has directed the Ministry of Federal Affairs and General Administration to amend the provision of reservation in the Federal Civil Service Bill. Following the directive to amend the bill by ensuring reservation even for the Khasaria community, considering their financial status, the ministry is in a state of dilemma while a final seal on the bill remains uncertain. The Federal Civil Service Bill has been under consideration at the State Affairs Committee for 6 months. Despite the staff adjustment already in place, uncertainty continues to loom in the civil service due to the delay in sealing the bill. However, the State Affairs Committee, instead of providing finishing touches to the bill by making necessary amendments, has returned it to the ministry, directing it to add the reservation criteria. The Constitution has provisioned inclusive of the deprived members of communities, including women, Dalit indigenous nationalities, Madeshis, minorities, and those with physical disabilities in the state departments based on the concept of inclusiveness. The State Affairs Committee has, however, directed to set the reservation quota only on the basis of the financial status. According to legal experts, this directive of the committee is not in alignment with the constitutional provision. It is, however, not easy for the Federal Affairs Ministry to implement the committee's directive. While it is not the responsibility of the ministry to measure poverty or financial status, the task cannot be carried out in a short period of time. The program to provide identity cards to those reeling under the poverty line has been on hold at the moment. The State Affairs Committee's directive issued in such a point of time has added further uncertainty to the bill. Government spokesman Gokul Baskota has hinted of a cabinet reshuffle. According to Communications Minister Baskota, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has prepared a mindset to reshuffle the ministerial portfolios. At the weekly press conference held yesterday to announce the government's plan and actions, Minister Baskota stated the Prime Minister had been evaluating the performances of the ministers and will personally look over the changes in portfolios. Meanwhile, leaders of the ruling Nepal Communist Party have said the party's chairman duo KP Sharma Oli and Pushpa Kamal Dahal had been carrying out internal discussions but have not taken a final decision on the issue of cabinet change. At yesterday's press conference, Minister Baskota announced that the cabinet had decided to promote 7 of the first-ranked technicians at the Nepal Forest Services as provincial secretaries. Likewise, Minister Baskota also announced yesterday that the cabinet had allowed the International Indian Film Academy to host this year's IIFA Awards in Nepal. The Nepal Tourism Board is to lead the organization of the award ceremony, while the Kathmandu Metropolis will be the co-host of the event. Welcome back. The Nepal Rashtra Bank is set to embrace the policy of big merger, which has been favored by the banking and financial institutions. Following discussions with the chairman and chief executive officers of banking and financial institutions yesterday, the central bank hinted towards providing the facility. However, the Rashtra Bank has remained indifferent towards the possible risks invited by the big merger. The Nepal Rashtra Bank had implemented the merger and acquisition policy 13 years ago. Since then, 165 banks and financial institutions have merged to form 42 institutions. However, discussions have now begun for the big merger as the number of commercial banks did not decline as expected. The government has already provisioned tax discounts for 3 years for merging institutions through the budget. Prior to this, the tax discount period was set for 2 years. Banks have expressed their preparations for the mergers but have put forward demands including additional tax discount and changes in spread rate and proportions of loans, capital and deposits. The Nepal Rashtra Bank is positive towards the demands of the banks. Governor Chiranjeevi Nepal has been advocating for the big mergers, and the central bank is preparing a monetary policy with the arrangement of the big mergers. The branches of the commercial banks in rural regions are limited to collecting deposits. Development banks and small financial institutions have almost disappeared because of mergers, while the locals in the rural regions have to depend on cooperatives. There are risks of strengthening the syndicate and collusion following the reduction of the number of banks with big mergers, alongside facilities of tax discounts. If the central bank is preparing to implement the big merger policy in the name of providing benefits by serving the best interests of the banking and financial institutions without adequate and proper assessment of the achievements of the merger policy, the risks may outweigh the returns. Welcome back. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the locals of Dhading district what their view was regarding the last hour development works carried out at the end of the fiscal year. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
ठेकेदार र त्यहाँ त्योसँग मिलोमतो हुने मान्छेहरू मात्रै मोटाउने काम हुन्छ
पानी पर्ने बेलामा काम गर्न थाल्छ काम राम्रो हुँदैन सबै भड्केर जान्छ पोहोर गरेको अहिले पिच भत्केर केही पनि छैन बजेट बाँडेर खाने जुक्ति मात्रै गर्छन्
बजेट पचाउने काम मात्रै भइरहेको गुणस्तरीय हुँदैन
यो अब 11 महिना अगाडि चाहिँ चिप लागेर बस्छौं हामी 1 महिना अथवा 15 दिनमा गरेको काम त यो निश्चय पनि राम्रो हुँदैन यसले फलदायी पनि हुँदैन
सरकार पक्ष र विभिन्न यो कामको जिम्मा लिने ठेकेदार पक्ष अथवा निर्माण कम्पनीहरू यी सबै यसको भागीदार हुन सक्छन् र यिनीहरूले सिधै जनताको आँखामा छारो हालेर विकास निर्माणलाई ओझेलमा पारेर र जनताको ढुकुटी सिद्ध्याउने काम मात्र गरेका छन् यस्तो कार्य जबसम्म रोकिँदैन तबसम्म हामी नेपाली जनता पछि नै पर्छौं
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: why has the SEE result fallen short of expectation? Your options are A, flaws in the education policy, B, politics of teachers, and C, managerial weakness. The voting is on. Type in EWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.